wave makers, it's me, Mommy Suna. Sparrow's here.
Yeah.
Well, before we get into today's video, because we got a lot more paparazzi stuff to catch up on, and Pop-Tart is here. Yes, she is. Let me tell you a little bit about today's sponsor, Verb Energy. Guys, they have a new cinnamon roll flavor. They are incredible. It's actually their first bar that has an icing drizzle on it. Look, I'll show you. Ooh. So like when I say that these will satisfy your sweet tooth, I mean it. They're very sweet, very good. But okay, so let me tell you a little bit about what Verb Energy bars are. Verb Energy bars, they are totally delicious, perfectly energizing, completely natural energy bars. Each one of these bars contains as much caffeine as a shot of espresso, and they're only 90 calories. Their caffeine comes from organic green tea, so it will naturally propel you throughout the day without the jitters or the crashes. And that's why I love Verb Energy, because I've never gotten jitters or I've never crashed or anything after consuming their products. Other energy products have given me crashes, jitters, all that stuff. I've never experienced that with Verb Energy, so I love that. They really do get you through that midday slump. So if you click my link down below, you can get their starter kit for only 10 doll hairs or dollars. They prefer dollars. So their starter kit includes one of these 12 bar pouches in a flavor of your choice, which I do highly recommend the cinnamon roll flavor. It's that good. Probably my new favorite. But you know, if that's not your jam, they have other flavors like chocolate chip banana bread. They have double chocolate and cookie butter. I've tried them all. They're all very good. And then with your purchase of the starter pack, they'll also give you 3 sample bars of their other flavors to try. So you get 15 bars for $10. I think that's a steal. It's practically highway robbery. It's like 15 shots of espresso for $10. That's a pretty good deal. So click my link down below, grab this deal for yourself now, and thank you Verb Energy for sponsoring this video. Griffin also says thank you. All right, let's get into it, guys. There's a few things I want to go over with you all today. Me. Okay, so first of all, if you haven't watched my last video, you probably should go do that right now. But most of you have probably watched it. So if you've watched it, you remembered that I showed a clip of a Clubhouse room, which by the way, I've been on Clubhouse twice now with the former paparazzi people. I don't know how that works, like if I leave a link or how to find me on Clubhouse. I'll go ahead and do that so you can follow me. And I think like I don't know how to use Clubhouse, okay? I'm like very new to this, but I guess I'll leave it below, and then I think you get notifications every time I'm live somewhere. I don't always join the paparazzi group, but when I do, I don't know, if you're on Clubhouse, you can listen to me talk to people. Clubhouse is cool, whatever. But anyway, so the people who were in that Clubhouse group, after I posted my video, made another Clubhouse group, and they're very upset. They're very upset at me and whoever recorded that Clubhouse clip that I shared. So one of you guys sent me, I guess, their rebuttal, and I just kind of wanted to listen to it with you guys because it's kind of funny. There are a lot of things that they get it wrong. They all just get it wrong in their rage, being upset about people listening to their public shit. I'm gonna click play here. Make sure you remember to leave me a like on this video and leave me a comment too whenever you think of it, because that helps the algorithm. That's the other thing too, is that, and I've always said this ever since I made my very first paparazzi video, paparazzi consultants are among the cattiest and just worst people to have in your audience, because they leave the worst comments, like the meanest comments, the most like ad hominem. So if you are here, if you are a paparazzi consultant who is thinking about leaving angry comments on this video, go for it. I'm not going to try to stop you, and let me tell you why. YouTube doesn't care what you, well, it cares to an extent, but for the most part, YouTube doesn't care what the tone of your comment is. Just the fact that you left a comment is enough for it to go, oh, this video is getting some engagement. I'm going to go ahead and send this out to more people. So all of your negative comments make sure that my videos get more eyes on it. So thank you. Thank you very much. No, girl, I'm gonna be up here for like 2 hours. And thank you very much. That's the end. Bye-bye. Bye, everyone. Bye. Now listen, your girl's got some really thick skin. Literally nothing that anyone says bothers me, so I don't mind. I just want to let you guys know that it does give my videos more engagement, even if you think you're trying to hurt my feelings or some shit. FYI, I have no feelings, and I have no heart, and I have no soul. All right.
For anyone who doesn't know what's been happening, there's been a new community of former consultants making waves throughout Clubhouse, on YouTube, because they've been sharing their stories of, you know, the unfortunate journeys that they've had with paparazzi. One of my friends, unfortunately, is now no longer a consultant. And I know
Unfortunately.
that she was a part of that, and she's in the audience. I wanted to find out, what's happening, because I'm not going to sit here and act like, paparazzi is like this perfect company. No company is perfect. You know what I mean? So when I started to hear these stories that former consultants were sharing, it was disheartening to hear the experiences that they had. Yesterday, I was shared a video where someone had recorded one of the Bling Nuggets and Coffee rooms, and if somebody who's never a consultant, she's someone who her platform, she's very anti-MLM, and again, everyone has a right to believe in what they want to believe in, stand on whatever platform they want to stand on. So there's no judgment for any of that. However, I was not okay with the fact that someone had come into our club and screen recorded our rooms. That is a clear violation of the safe space that we want to have here. And I got to thinking, like, what purpose does it serve for someone to come in to a room to screen record the conversation that's happening?
At least this person, like, is not being mean. It'll get worse. There are some people coming up here who are very, very unhappy. Let me explain to you what the purpose is of doing these things. This will get brought up a lot later, actually, but I'll just say this now. If you are going to go on a public platform and say words or type words, if you are going to be on social media and expressing words out of your mouth or your little fingy tips publicly, then you have no right to privacy. Like, I'm sorry, but that's just the internet. That is how it works. I don't understand the point. Okay, if you're saying dumb shit on a public platform, and again, go watch that video if you haven't already. These people are literally trying to control information from getting into their little bubble or whatever it is. They don't want their team members hearing the stuff that we have to say. That's the eye and the bite model. That's information control. From my standpoint, as a content creator in the anti-MLM movement here, the purpose of me sharing these things, and of course, I didn't record this. This was posted in the Recovering Paparazzi Consultant group on Facebook. Also, they're going to bring up and be like, we know who did it. The person who they think did it didn't do it. So I don't... I don't even understand what that's about. She also expressed that to me on Clubhouse when I was in a group with them, which I'll link all those down below too, actually, if you guys want to watch those. Just those conversations. They're interesting. But anyway, the purpose on my end is to use this as an example, because my platform, while of course, yes, it's here to entertain you, and I try my best to do that, it's also here to educate people. And in my opinion, one of the best ways to educate people, to ultimately keep them from joining multi-level marketing companies, is to use its consultants as an example. I like to do a lot of reaction videos to like lives that MLM distributors will go and put on, and I like to throw that out there for everyone to see, because if you are also someone who is on social media and you see someone on your friends list posting similar videos saying similar things, I want my content to be there so you can be like, oh, I saw this on Savannah's channel and this is exactly what she's doing. She's saying this, but she means this. There has to be an example made. And that's exactly what this is. I talk about the bite model a lot, especially since I've been talking about paparazzi, dude, because they just keep giving me more reasons to bring it up. I thought that it was a good example of information control, the things that they were saying. It was a good example of something we also talk about a lot, toxic positivity. Just a lot of stuff there. It was a good example. And what better way to fortify my narrative here, I guess, if you will, than to show examples of why I say the things that I say. I mean, I shouldn't have to explain this. It makes sense. Hello, I'm not just up here just like talking shit about people and being a jerk for no reason, just because I want to be like this YouTuber or whatever. Like, that's what they think this is. They literally think that this is all just for entertainment. And it's like, okay, I've been in 2 MLMs. I started this because of that. Like, no, that's not the end all be all. That's the purpose. Just wanted to get that out. We can continue here.
And then either start making fun of people or judging people, or honestly, to keep it a buck, like, it comes off very mean girl, mean boy. it comes off very bullying. And I've gone into some of the former Papa.
I'll touch on that too, because that's always what they fall back on, right? Whenever anybody on the internet says something that they don't like, that's what it always is. It's like, oh, well, then you're just being a bully because you're saying things I don't like and it's making me upset, so therefore you're bullying me. Bitch, you don't know what it means to be bullied if you think this shit is bullying. And this is coming from someone who had a very negative experience in middle school and high school because of my trichotillomania, okay? I was not treated very well. Once, someone told me they were going to burn my ugly face off in 8th grade. So, okay, that's bullying. And we'll get to that later too. If you think that somebody criticizing you, not based on things that you cannot help, like, it's one thing to talk shit about the way someone looks. Those are like very hateful fucking people, and that's bullying. That is rude, and you should not be doing that. And if you are doing that or know somebody who does that, fucking knock it off, because that is not what we're here for. We do not make things personal here. Not on my channel anyway. There are people who take things too far. I absolutely agree with that. I try not to do that. Some might say that things get taken too far on this channel too, but like, I never try to make anything personal because I know what it's like to be bullied about shit I can't help. Here's the thing though. Here's the thing. Tell him, Griffin. You're in a cult. The information is there for you, right? At your fingertips. There are people, of course, your uplines trying to keep you from seeing the light, if you will. But aside from that, it's on you, honey boo boo. You can quit whenever you want. In my opinion, your decision to stay in a commercial cult, your decision not to listen to what you refer to as negativity, which really isn't negativity. It's literally just criticism of the way you make your money. Because people are being hurt by it, especially in paparazzi. This has been proven time and time again. You don't make money in paparazzi unless you build a team underneath you. And the people who are underneath you are very much so losing money. You can't make actual money in paparazzi without building a team. And it's very hard to do that. So when you are in a cult willingly, you are admitting to willful ignorance, first of all, and you refuse to leave that cult. And while you are in that cult, the only way for you to rise through the ranks of said cult is to harm other people beneath you financially as well as, mentally. Love bombing, that's an abusive tactic. That among so many other things, just controlling the information, controlling your personality. Like paparazzi does that shit too. Paparazzi doesn't let you get on a live and say the word fuck. They don't let you say anything. And we'll get into it too in this clip that I'm showing you too. Like if someone goes on your live and says, hey, I like your shirt, where'd you get it? And they answer it, paparazzi? Guys, paparazzi can cancel you, terminate you, or, just ban you. What do they call it? Oh, suspend you. Yeah, that's what it is. For even mentioning another company's name that is not paparazzi, even if it's not a competing company. That's the wild part. That's the crazy part about paparazzi is that they literally control every aspect of your life. And then religion, that's a thing too, because now paparazzi is basically saying it's a faith-based company, which we know it's always been. When I made my first paparazzi video like 2 or 3 years ago, that's one of the things I touched on, is that like religion was going hard there then. Now it's tenfold. It's so much worse than it used to be from what I understand, especially ever since the whole COVID convention hit. 22 people died. That's the number I've heard lately. I'm sorry to dwell on this, but why do I have to explain this? I think that's the thing that's so frustrating. It's like, to me, it's so obvious that the things you're doing and the things you're saying are worthy of criticism. Fucking there it is, dude. And if you don't see it, it's because your upline and your company are trying to suppress that information from getting to you so that you do not make the decision to leave. Because if you knew the shit that we know, if you opened your mind even a little bit to let even a little sprinkle of information enter your brain, there's no way that someone can willingly be okay with this company and the way they run shit. Like, you would leave if you actually listened and retained any information about what paparazzi does in any aspect. If you fully understood that, you would not be in paparazzi anymore. Sorry, we'll click play again. But yeah, all that is to say, this is not bullying. What you are saying and doing is worthy of criticism. You can help the fact that you are willfully ignorant and involved in an MLM that is reliant on harming people in order for you to find success. So yeah, no, I'm not gonna stop. I'm not gonna stop till y'all motherfuckers stop, all right?
What I will say is this, and I'm saying it in front of both the former consultant and current consultant community that's in this room right now. It is so important that if stories are being shared about bullying from uplines, bullying from elite leaders, bullying from this, bullying from that, but then you turn around and start bullying current consultants because they have chosen to stay a consultant, even with everything that's happening, I would really like to know what makes you different.
I love this because this statement is made under the assumption that we're all sitting here being holier than thou, saying we're not as bad as you guys. We're not the bad guys. It's like, I know that we're not the bad guys. Like, I know what we're doing is ultimately helping people, but they're sitting here being like, yeah, but you though. It's a straw man because myself, Tracey, Jerry, Caroline, I don't think any of us have ever claimed to be any better than any of these people. Ever. So the whole no you argument is just null and void. It's stupid because it's irrelevant. I'm not claiming to be any better than any of y'all. As a matter of fact, I started this video off by saying I don't have a heart and soul. Like, you can't be a content creator and a YouTuber if you give a shit about what other people think about you. So what makes you any different? Well, I mean, there are a lot of things that make us different for sure. The thing is that even if we were exactly the same, none of us are claiming to be any better than you. So it's just stupid.
That's what is bothering me right now and why we had to have this room.
That's what's bothering me right now, even though literally this person is admitting to letting something bother them that is not even a thing. What makes you any different? A lot of things, but like none of us are arguing it, you know? Sit down.
It's not okay to bully anyone. It's not okay to be a mean girl. I've heard some of the stories that the former consultants have shared, and a lot of it revolves around uplines and direct sponsors who were shitty as hell. You know what I mean? But to turn around and start doing that to current consultants, what makes you different? And I do hope that at some point a former consultant will raise their hand to explain that to me.
But you do understand, though, right, what the difference is now, right? What the difference is between bullying and controlling another person and then using that shitty behavior as an example so that others may not fall into the same situation, right? You realize that, right? No, they don't. And they'll sit there and argue and be like, but you, though. Okay, there's a big difference between what we're trying to do here and what you're trying to do here. We're not one and the same. Our missions are actually like completely opposite. So there are a lot of things that make us different, yeah. But that difference literally doesn't matter.
It's been feeling very like it's former consultant versus current consultant. Why? Because current consultants have chosen to stay. It's everyone's decision on what they want to do with their business, whether they want to stay in the business or not. Regardless of when it comes to morals, values, all of those things, it's still everyone's choice. The same way someone chose to leave paparazzi and they have that right is the same respect that should be given to someone who has stayed with paparazzi. I've heard people, even one time when I went into a former papa room, when I came into the room and somebody was like, hey, down below is Mimi. The whole atmosphere was like, well, come on up here. We're not gonna block you, blah blah blah, all of this. And I'm just like, for real? This is what's happening right now?
Well, what do you want them to do? Just be like, oh, there's someone in here who is on the opposing side. Get him out of here. Get him. See, that's what you guys do. She's all like mad. Like, someone pointed out that there was someone opposing in the audience and they called me out and said, oh, come talk to us. Let's have an open discussion. And you're mad about that?
Information control.
That's because you've been accustomed to trying to shut out the opposing side. That's what you guys do in these companies. When in reality, exactly like I said in my last video, it's actually very important to listen to the opposition. We're talking religion, politics, MLMs, anything that is a controversial issue. It makes you a more well-rounded and educated person. It makes you more capable of arguing your points and making your points well if you know what the other side is arguing. But these people have been made to believe that you need to just shut that out. And that's why in all these rooms and shit, they don't want to argue, no, because they will get their asses handed to them time and time again. Because we do listen and then we rebuttal and tell them why they're wrong. That's literally what I do as a job. We can continue. It's just so dumb.
That day when I had come into the room, there was actual, if you get past all the pettiness If you get past all of that like shady conversation that some of these people give, there was some real knowledge in there. The topic when I had come into the room was about the income disclosure, right? And I'm a star consultant. I'm not an elite. I'm not someone that's high up in paparazzi or nothing like that. And I don't have a team. I have a team of two, but over time I decided I didn't want to have a team, right? So I never really paid too much, consideration to the income disclosure. But when I came into the former papa room, I was really learning something. It just sucked that it took all of the pettiness and the bickering and the name calling for it to get to the point where I could actually learn something.
And I see what she's saying here, and I do agree, and I know my content falls on those lines for a lot of people too. I think at that point, that's when it gets entertaining. Now, again, if people are calling people names and shit, like, don't do that. And I know that there are people who do, and that's just their personality, that's what's in their DNA. I guess my point is that we have someone here who is openly admitting that, like, yeah, they're saying some really great stuff in there. I don't know, I just feel like, yeah, the people don't like to listen to people being bullies, but then also at the same time, I'm like, I'd say like 90% of everything that's said in tea time and then like the Clubhouse, I mean, yeah, things go too far sometimes as far as like being mean to each other and stuff, but I say most of it is more informative than just calling names and shit, Go watch any tea time, and most of it is just, it's straight facts, and maybe it's just being told with a little bit of sass sprinkled in or whatever, because feisty, love her, and Tracey's a little feisty too, but I mean, I don't think for the most part that it is just unwatchable because it's just so petty. I'm like, no. Are we watching the same thing? Because I feel like the information that's presented in tea time and even in the clubhouses after, again, the clubhouses that come afterwards are definitely more no holds barred, but at the very least, the tea times are really great. For the most part, there's not any bullying. It's just a lot of good information, but even then they don't want to watch it because it's negative.
Even when in the room that was recorded for Bling Nuggets and Coffee, the conversation that was happening in that particular room, some of it was taken out of context. When the moderators in that room were talking about, like, to stay away from the negativity and all this other stuff, it's not the negativity of paparazzi. We're not stupid. Yes, there's a whole thing happening with the letter nickel free and the fact that paparazzi has literally taken it off their website. That's a real thing. The negativity that was being talked about was that cattiness.
Okay, so here's the thing there too. And this will get brought up a few times here, but they'll say, things were taken out of context in that video. I'm pretty sure I didn't edit out a single bit of that. It was like a 7 or 8 minute long video, and I'm pretty sure the person who recorded it and uploaded it, it was just a screen recording. Like, I don't think that anything was edited out of there. So how can you say something that is 8 minutes long was taken out of context? It wasn't just like a little tiny clip. They weren't clip chimped. Like, they straight up talked for 8 minutes straight, and then I would pause it and insert my commentary and then continue. Pretty sure I didn't cut anything out of that, and if I did, it was because it was irrelevant, but I'm telling you right now, I really don't think I did. And they were specifically talking about the lead and nickel free thing. Like, see, this kind of stuff is exactly what tells me that they don't actually listen to anything that is being said. And that's really a shame, isn't it? To be such a fragile human that you are refusing to listen to facts as they are presented to you in long-term format, literally like hours worth of information, because you don't like that someone said that someone's a scammer. You know what I mean? Like, and especially these people, I've never heard of most of these people who are in this room, and I don't think any of their names have ever been personally brought up in a tea time. It's usually, they use Patricia Shevlin as an example a lot, and Erica Cole, and Colleen something, I don't know her last name, but I hear that name a lot. Those three, sorry about Griffin, those three players are like the three that I constantly hear used as an example. You see You see yourself up there. But everyone else, it's like, okay, well, they're not talking personally about you. And quite frankly, yeah, the people who get brought up in tea time deserve it. They freaking deserve every, well, like 95% of the things that are said about them. So if you can't get past that, you don't like that a fucking elite at the tippy top of the pyramid who is making money off of the losses of thousands of others beneath them, if you cannot get past that, there's no hope for you. Just like put your big girl panties on, grow a little bit of a thicker skin, and just fucking listen. But they're like, no, the negativity. I don't like that they're calling people out for being scammers and manipulators. It's like, how can you not? At this point, how can you not call these people out for what they're doing? It's bad. You want to talk about what's negative, they're negative. Those people that are constantly brought up and made examples of, they're negative. They're made examples of for a reason, because they are negatively affecting other people. But they don't like to be informed of those things. It is just out of this world. Absolutely out of this world.
Was that mean girl? Was former consultants getting on stage and making fun of people?
But see, I want to know, I think the only thing that I can think of off the top of my head where people are making fun of anybody was like when Patty left her mic on Clubhouse and went pee for everyone to hear. And how can you not make fun of that? That's fucking funny. That is just in and of itself naturally just a funny thing that fucking happened. So yeah, that's making fun of people. Oh no, we made fun of someone peeing. Like, and you can sit here and say that that is some immature comedy, but I don't give a shit. And I'm not sitting here saying that I don't have an immature sense of humor, because I sure as shit do. I think it's funny. I can't speak for everyone else, but I'm personally not gonna make fun of the way someone talks or the way someone looks or whatever. And if other people do that, you know, I don't condone it, but I also have to let myself remember that these people have been literally personally affected, attacked, and even threatened, and we're gonna get to that too, by these people. And it's like, if I was in their shoes, maybe I wouldn't hold back either.
Two wrongs don't make a right. It's disgusting that there's any elite, there's any upline, I don't care what title you have in paparazzi. You have no right to be disrespectful to anyone that is in your downline, sideline, upside down line, and none of that stuff. So to hear those stories is disheartening, because that shouldn't be happening. But it did happen to quite a few former consultants, and I think that's sad.
But you know, if those stories are paired with someone making fun of someone for peeing while they're on Clubhouse, then you don't want any part of that, because that's just mean, that's just bullying, that's just making fun of somebody. I mean, I know there are people who can't get past even the smallest bit of making fun of a situation like that. When it's stuff like that, as long as no one is being like personally attacked for things they can't help, then get over it. Like, fuck. Patty could have helped that she didn't mute her mic. That was her mistake. She kind of deserves to be made fun of on that end. And there are other things too. You know, there are other little things that consultants do that it's like, how can you not make fun of that? I don't know.
It's sad that anyone had to experience those kind of things. But then lately we felt like we're under attack, because either we've chosen to stay in paparazzi, or we have to worry now that people are going to come in and record the conversations that we're having, and then put it out there and start making fun of people.
Making an example of you and your cult tactics and your brainwashing and your manipulation and your total disregard for other people's well-being financially and mentally and physically too. Shit. Do we have to talk about the COVID super spreader event? Like, come on. Yeah, making an example is not making fun of you. They take things so personally, and it's like, why don't you just reflect a little bit? That's all they need. That's what these people need, is just a little bit of reflection. Reflect on the things you say, and maybe you wouldn't be made an example out of. How about that?
Making fun of the name of the club, or making fun of the person, or all this other stuff. Like, for real?
Taking things out of context.
Yeah.
Taking things out of context. Yeah, nothing was taken out of context in what I posted. Again, 8 minutes long. Nothing cut out in the middle of any of that. Just 8 minutes of pure conversation. No clip chimping here, folks.
And you know, for me, I'm just like, what purpose are you serving? If the former consultants want to bring down paparazzi, that's your prerogative. I'm not going to stand in the way of anything, because at the end of the day, whether paparazzi shuts down today, I'm still going to live. You know what I'm saying? If that's the goal and the prerogative of the former consultants, live your best life. That has nothing to do with anything I'm doing. Is it going to affect me? I mean, if paparazzi shuts down, sure, I won't have access to, paparazzi jewelry anymore, but it's not like my business is going to stop. You know what I mean? So I don't understand why all of this negative stuff is happening. Like, I do believe that in some of the former papa rooms that I've gone into, again, once that pettiness and that back and forth stuff is gone, there's some real value in there. And I've heard one of the, I don't know if she was the creator, because I know she does the tea time, her name is Tracey. I've heard her very endearing, very supportive of consultants that just came out and have had these bad experiences, and how, like, she's very endearing to people.
Yeah, Tracey is nothing but endearing to people. I can't even think of a situation where I could say that Tracey was making fun of anybody, ever. Maybe I missed it, point it out to me, but Tracey is a very upstanding and respectable person, and guess what? She is a co-owner of Cracked Crown, Tea Time, co-creator, or whatever you would call it. Yeah, she's a pretty big face on the whole movement there, and that is someone who deserves every ounce of respect.
So I know that there's some positivity that can exist there, but it's the other stuff that I don't understand why that has to be a part of the story.
Because you're being made an example out of. Okay.
And if you want it to be a part of the story, cool, but then stop attacking current consultants. Stop coming into these rooms trying to record and violate, like in New York State, that's where I'm from, it's illegal to record someone without consent. That's why at the beginning of this room, and I'm going to say it again as people are coming in, the replays are on in this. Now, I know with Clubhouse, this is part of the Clubhouse that you can have replays on or off. But a couple of months ago, when I did Instagram rooms here, I made sure that everyone who came into the room knew that room was being recorded, because it was an Instagram training. I said it in the title. I said it throughout when we reset, because it is illegal to be recording people without their consent.
Ma'am. Can I call you ma'am? Mrs. Madam. You are on Clubhouse. You are on social media. You are on a public platform. The things you say and do in public on social media, on a public platform, are not subject to privacy. Like, quite the opposite, actually. Listen, if you want to say all this shit so that no one can hear any of it ever again, turn your replays off on Clubhouse, first of all, and go into a private room. And I'm pretty sure the clip that I played in my video, I think that room was public. They might have had replays turned off, so someone would have had to go in and, like, actively recorded it. That aside, it's still public. It is not against any law to record something that's done in public. If she wants to try to be like, it's illegal, you do realize, okay, yeah, you are in the state of New York. Everyone else in this room, and it says 50 here now, so at the time of this, there were 50 people listening. Every single one of those people could be in a different state. All 50 states, honey. Maybe even a different country. The laws are different everywhere. You cannot go after the person who recorded this public conversation on social media, because everyone's states are different, everyone's rules are different. But not only that, again, you're in public. What this person is referring to is like phone conversations, things that are done in private, things that are said in private. There was nothing private about any of this. And if you want to avoid this, then do shit privately. Make sure that the people who are in your private room are not people who are going to then go record things and send it to the opposition. To me, personally, I believe that falls on you, honey boo boo. That's your bad. You wanted to go on social media and say all the shit you said, but you didn't want any repercussions of it. It's like, this is America, and that's my First Amendment right to use my voice, blah, blah. So, okay, here's what you gotta understand, and I fucking hate this shit when it's used as an argument, but it's like, guys, the First Amendment, yeah, you can say whatever you want. It's freedom of speech, but it is not freedom of consequence. You gotta pay for the consequences of the things you say. That's just how it goes. You wanna talk about how much you love the Constitution and you love our Bill of Rights and all that shit, you gotta understand how it works. And social media, well, shit, the Constitution was written way before social media. media. So, I mean, I am of the belief that the Constitution is far out of date in a lot of aspects. But of course, it'll never get rewritten. Why would it? Because our founding fathers were correct in absolutely everything. You gotta understand how it works then. If you want to use it as an argument, you don't get to cherry pick what does and does not fall in that category there. So, freedom of speech, yeah, sure. But the consequence of that speech is that you were doing it in public and it got reposted somewhere and you didn't like it. Okay, well, that's the consequence.
And that's what happened when somebody recorded Bling Nuggets and Coffee's room to do that. You didn't have our consent. Now, am I going to chase
need it.
all that? No, I'm not. Nobody got.
Am I going to chase y'all for it? You'd be wasting a lot of resources doing so because it's not going to go anywhere because literally no laws were broken. Not at all.
I'm just saying.
We do know who it is.
Yeah, we do know who recorded it. But I don't have time for all of that. So anyone who wants to go after somebody because they were legally recorded, you have that right. That's what I'm putting.
I mean, you do have the right to waste your time and resources to go after these people, but you're not going to get anywhere with it. And also, like I was saying, the person who they think recorded it didn't actually record it. And I'm not about to go into the Facebook group and tell y'all who did, because it's irrelevant. Who fucking cares? Anyone could have done it. It was public.
That's not why we open these rooms. We don't open these rooms to talk about people, to talk about what's all that. We don't do that. If you come into the rooms, only if somebody comes up on stage to ask about what's been happening, because it's an elephant in the room. I'm starting to see it in the group that I'm in with my upline. I'm starting to see that it is making waves. And if this is what the end goal is for the former consultants, then it's working.
Good.
But why do we have to be attacked in the process? If you want to attack Paparazzi the company, attack Paparazzi the company. But to sit there and do these things against current consultants, it's not fair.
Okay, well, on that note there, the consultants are a reflection of the company. And I am of the belief that the companies ultimately are what make the atmosphere so toxic. The way their business structure is built encourages this kind of shitty behavior, not just in Paparazzi, in every MLM. That's just how it goes. In this situation, yeah, the consultants are a very accurate reflection of the company itself. So yeah, you're not free of responsibility just because you are not the company. You represent the company. You are a face of the company. You are the ones who are on the front line selling the product, training your teams. So, yup, you are definitely guilty by association, at least. Like, when the FTC sent out letters when COVID first hit, I think it was April and June, because consultants were running around making false income and health claims saying, you know, did you lose your job to COVID? You need extra money? Well, you can recoup those losses by joining my MLM. Or they were saying, you know, taking this essential oil will cure COVID or prevent COVID, you know, or not just essential oils, you know, health and wellness MLMs that were basically saying, take our product and your immune system will be boosted so that COVID won't be an issue to you. Anyway, yeah, a lot of that shit was happening. The consultants were the ones saying that. And guess what? The company got in trouble for it. They got the FTC warning letters. They didn't send those warning letters to the consultants themselves. They sent it to the company. And that is because the consultants are an extension, a reflection of the company. The company is responsible. The two are linked. And if you can't see why the consultants and the company are worth comparing, I guess, in that way, then I can't fucking help you. It's just obvious.
It's not right. And I truly don't understand what is the purpose behind it. How does that work in the favor of the mission that you have against paparazzi?
I mean, maybe I can't explain how, but I can tell you that it is. It is working in our favor because people are dropping out of paparazzi like flies, baby. To the anti-MLM movement in general, I mean, look at all the work that was done against Black Oxygen Organics. That company fucking shut down, not just because of the anti-MLM movement, just people who might be pro-MLM but just anti-boo. It's like that is a prime example, you know, while the current consultants were running around being like, oh, you're just trying to destroy lives. No, that's not what it is. This is kind of the same thing in a way, where it's just like, no, see, you're taking everything really personally, and the mission is still going whether or not you agree with it. And despite all of the mean girls who had things to say about Black Oxygen Organics or any MLM, things are happening. Things are getting shut down. Paparazzi, fucking dwindling. We know your sales are down down. We know it because people are leaving. Because people now they know, again, I'll get into it, but the lead and nickel free thing, that probably got some people out of your court there. So while maybe I can't explain human nature in the way where I can be like, well, here's why it works in our favor, no matter what, I can say that it just is. It just is working in our favor in general.
I don't understand. And I would really love for someone to come up and explain that to us, because that's why we open this room. I'm sure this is being recorded outside of the replays, but we also put the replays on because if somebody does record and someone tries to make a YouTube video and clip parts that they want to encourage their narrative, anyone could come back and see what was actually said in this room. Because I didn't come to open this room because I want to be disrespectful to former consultants or any of that stuff. I don't. I have two friends who are former consultants now, and I'm not going to disrespect them. I'm not going to disrespect anyone in that community. I just want the disrespect in this community to stop.
On that note there, I will be fully transparent here because this clip that I recorded of this whole conversation was like 35 minutes long, and whatever you're seeing, whatever my end product is here, is not going to be that full 35 minutes unedited. I am going to be clipping stuff out, but I promise you, and I will leave the link to this Clubhouse down below so you can go listen for yourself and see what exactly I cut out. It's not anything substantial. I'm not cutting anything out and chopping it up just to fit my narrative. This is literally what's being said, and I'm cutting out the fluff. Okay, go ahead and fucking listen to it for yourself. But there's not really anything entertaining about me just like sitting here and listening to you be like, okay, who wants to come up next? Who wants to speak? Blah, blah, blah. Like just making personal like chit chat. Things that don't matter to what we're doing here. You can go listen to that shit if you want to, but I'm telling you I cut that out. Because at the end of the day, we're on YouTube and this is still an entertainment platform here. You are watching this to be entertained. So I just want to put that out there too. But what they're talking about here, out of context, I'm still telling you here, I will sit here and argue it to the end of the day. Yeah, I didn't cut anything out of that. So
I think we also need to point out that the reason we open the rooms is to help people in their current struggles. And it's making it very difficult for us to help other people when we have people coming in bashing what we're currently doing. We've obviously decided to stay with the company. We don't need that negativity coming into our space where we provide a safe space for people to come and ask questions. The fact that they recorded our rooms without our permission and then gave it to people to then broadcast across YouTube, taking it out of context and not having the proper permissions is what's really upsetting us.
they didn't need permission. I didn't need permission. See, this goes back to, I think it was in one of my boo response videos when I was talking about the Healthcare 360 podcast guy, Scott Burgess, which by the way, going back to him being a little crying baby man child, he changed the name of his podcast. Because his 4.9 Apple podcast review, I guess, was just too much for him. So none of the criticism that I have given him, and then I guess by extension, anyone who watches my shit and decided to go give him some criticism as well. Yeah, he couldn't handle that. It's just the same fucking shit. It's like the people who can't just like chill out, handle a little bit of criticism. Okay, well then you have to understand how fair use works, right? You have to understand that I don't need permission to share your dumb shit. Hey Scott, I didn't need to get your permission to do any of that, and that is made evident by the fact that you still haven't tried to do a copyright takedown of that video, even though you said you were going to, because I know my rights. I know what I am allowed to say and do. And these people just want to be like, you didn't get permission. It's like, I don't need permission, bitch. Take that, put it in your pipe and smoke it.
We allowed people to stay in our rooms until they became too combative. So now if you're in a former paparazzi room, you're not welcome in any room that I have anyway, because I don't want that drama. The reason I open a room is so that I can help other people, not so I can have other people coming in that are disgruntled, coming in trying to ruin what we are currently working towards. I completely don't like how some consultants were let go. I have a former job that I didn't like how people were let go. However, that does not stop my current mission from what I'm trying to do, and that's to pay down my debts and support my family and support others as I go.
The only way you can do that is by other people losing money, being financially scarred from your success. Tell me where I'm fucking wrong. You do not make 45%. At the end of all your expenses, you do not make a 45% profit on every piece of jewelry you sell. It is very hard to make a living off of that, especially if you're not making that 45% commission. So for this woman to be like, I'm just here because I want to pay down my debts and support my family. The only way you can do that in a meaningful way for yourself is so that the people underneath you are buying all this inventory and stock and fucking their finances up. That's the way that you win. That's it. That's how it works in paparazzi. You cannot convince me otherwise. Based on the way the numbers have been broken down for us, you don't make that much money just selling the jewelry. The clips from the tea time I was on last time that I included in the last video, I'll include it again in the description, because the first hour of that video is of Nicole just destroying paparazzi and their supposed profits with numbers. It's simple math there. It's like, how much did you pay in tax? How much are you paying for shipping? How much are you paying to buy shipping supplies, shipping envelopes? You know, at the end of it, I think she said that like on the low end, you might be making 19 cents at the end of everything, every time you sell a $5 piece of jewelry. That's what's fucking crazy about all of this. So again, I just want to support my family. Well, you're not doing that on 19 cents a sale. You're not doing it. You got to build a team.
Because knowledge learned isn't any good to anyone if you don't share it. But we can't share our knowledge or help each other if we have all of this negativity coming in. And I'm not saying that it's not warranted or that I don't agree with some of it, but I don't agree with the way it's going about. If you have something you want to talk about, you need to remove your emotion from the situation, because people are only going to see your emotions and they're not going to see the true value of the content you're providing.
This person says that, but it's like, if that were true, then we wouldn't get anywhere with what we're doing. It's like, if we're doing things and saying things that you don't agree with, and therefore, like, that's why our message just, it's not getting out. It's like, that's not true, because shit's happening regardless of the way we present it.
So what we're asking here is, if we want to stay in paparazzi, leave us the heck alone. Let us help each other. We will see the light eventually.
Will you see the light eventually? I mean, I personally believe you will. There are plenty of people seeing the light right now. But that being said, leave you alone while you're just going to continue to scam people and make money off of the losses of other people? You want us to leave you alone for that? No! Heckin' no! I ain't doing that shit. No! If you're gonna keep scamming people, I'm gonna keep talking about it. That goes for everyone in an MLM, not just paparazzi, but paparazzi is probably my number one set my sights on right now, you know?
In the meantime, the negativity has got to stop, because you're infringing on our ability to help others. And I feel that is incredibly disrespectful.
But that's the
And
point.
if you're in a former pauper room, you're going to be blocked.
If you're listening to facts, if you're listening to those people who are trying to keep you from falling into financial despair, you don't get to be part of our club. You don't get to sit with us. That's literally what these people are saying. They don't want anyone to learn. This is a threat. What this lady just said is a threat to anybody who maybe they're even just curious, like, why is there this big movement? Why are there 600 people in this paparazzi group listening to what is being said, and there's only 50 in ours? Just even out of curiosity, they don't want you to do that, because like they said in the clip that I shared, they're gonna make you think, and they don't want that, because that's a threat. That is a threat. So their only option is to turn around and threaten you. Say, you don't get to sit with us if you're gonna listen to them. That's precisely what this is. Information control, bite model cult.
And let me just share, I'm the one that was shared to YouTube. I was actually the one speaking in that video. I was the one speaking when it was recorded. And again, I don't place judgment on anybody. I don't place judgment on the former consultants that have left paparazzi for their own reasons. I don't place judgment on anybody I do not know. If you want to be heard, you need to stop making all of this based on your emotions, because I have a tough skin, and that YouTube video thing did not bother me. But in some site, it did bother me because nobody knows my story. And when I said that I don't want to be part of the negativity, it wasn't because of I was trying to avoid the situation. It was not because I was turning a blind side to the problem of the lead and nickel free. It's not because of any of that. It's because I have a mother that spent most of her life living off of negativity, and it turned into depression. And I had to see her live that day in and day out, who passed away on the 1st of January of this year. And I choose not to live my life that way. I choose not to live my life in negativity because it eventually will affect your health. It'll eventually turn into depression. It'll eventually take you down a road you don't want to go down.
See, she's pretty much using people's mental health against them. And again, her definition of what is negative is not actual negativity, like the dictionary definition of negativity. What she is considering to be negative is just shit that she doesn't agree with, that shit she doesn't want to hear. Because again, I'm sitting here just racking my brain being like, maybe this little tiny comment out of a 3-hour long Facebook Live, maybe there's 1 or 2 comments that you can pick out that were made over the course of about 5 seconds that probably shouldn't have been said, maybe went a little too far because, emotions. You want to say you have to take emotions out of things. Well, one way to throw yourself into a deep depression is suppressing your emotions because someone is sitting here telling you you're not allowed to have them. I mean, that's definitely part of it, but then she's also disregarding the fact that depression, sometimes you don't have to have a reason to be depressed. Sometimes your life can be fucking perfect in every way, shape, and form, but you have a chemical imbalance in your brain. It is not because you're sitting here listening to people who are just making fun of people who pee on Clubhouse. I just listen to these people and it just makes me so depressed so I can't listen anymore. It's like, oh my God. I mean, to me, it just sounds like a scapegoat. It sounds like they don't want to be approached with actual facts about what is going on in paparazzi. So they're just like, oh, well, it's negative, so I don't want to listen to it. It's like, again, I'm seriously telling you that, yeah, things get taken too far sometimes, but a wide, vast majority of the things that are said on Tea Time and even on my YouTube channel, on other people's YouTube channels, it's all valid and comes from a justifiable place. So I don't believe that spreading truth, spreading people's stories is negative, but that's what these people believe simply because it's affecting their business and therefore, it causes negativity in their lives too. It's like, okay. Basically what she's saying here is like, if you watch Tea Time and you keep watching it, you will become depressed. Which is a really shitty fucking thing to say. And I don't know this woman's story. I don't know her mother. I don't know what circumstances she was under for her to be able to say, yes, I fell into a deep depression. I don't know any of that. But I can tell you that I think that this argument is a scapegoat. Simply because the things that are being discussed are not negative. It's just truth. You know what? Sometimes the truth is negative, but if you're going to suppress that and keep your mind off of it, you're literally just putting yourself into an echo chamber. Like I was saying before, it all comes full circle, circling back to, I don't want to hear shit that I don't agree with. I don't want to hear the negativity. It doesn't matter which way you fucking slice it. It doesn't matter how you explain it in this way. It's like, at the end of the day, you just don't want to hear shit that you don't agree with. And you're falling back on the fact that sometimes someone might say something personal here and there. I mean, it might be in our best interest at this point, and I'm speaking for everyone in anti-MLM movement and anti-paparazzi, crack the crown, any of that. It might be in our interest to really make sure that we're never going there. And I know it's hard not to because so many emotions and experiences and feelings are tied up in what this company has done to people. Easier said than done, I'm sure, from people who have had direct experiences with this company. Maybe we just need to step back and really try not to make anything personal, not make fun of the way someone said something or type something or whatever, because then at that point, like, they have nothing to fall back on. And then when they say it's all just negativity, it's like, well, point out the part that was bullying, you know what I mean? Even if we were to cut all of that shit out, I think they would still be saying the same thing. And that's because it's not ultimately about, and I don't like that they make things personal. It's like, it's just because we're saying stuff you don't want to hear.
So to make fun of me when you don't know my story, when you guys want us to hear your story, which I'm fine to sit and listen to, that is wrong.
I mean, I know for a fact I didn't make fun of this chick. I just literally pointed out and reacted to the words that she was saying. I don't even know what she looks like. Like, I can't make any personal judgments on her. Her profile picture is of cookies. She speaks fine. Like, I don't know enough about her to make any personal observations about her. What I can do, however, is take the words that she says and apply them contextually, because I didn't take anything out of context. And the person who recorded that, I'm pretty sure didn't take anything out of context. So what I can do is react to the words you say. That's not personal. You just said words and I reacted to it, dude. That's not making fun of you. This is another perfect example of, I don't think these people know what it means to actually be bullied and made fun of.
When you take the contents of what is somebody is saying and not knowing their story and turning it into making fun of them. And that's what I was speaking of. I don't want to live in negativity. I don't want to deal with that. I had a mother who dealt with that day in and day out. So when I say I don't want to live in the negativity, it's because I have reasons behind it. It's not because I'm trying to turn a blind side to what's going on. It's not because I don't want to see what's really happening. It's not because I want to live in my own little cocoon. No, it's because I see what negativity does to somebody's life and somebody's health.
Okay, well, so if you can see that, then why can't you see what paparazzi is doing to people? Why can't you see the stories and the proof and all the shit that paparazzi does to people, how it has affected people negatively? Want to talk about negativity? Why can't you see that? Like, see, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, I don't think you're actually listening, because if you could literally see the damage that this company has done to people, then you would not still be a consultant. I have no problem with listening to your stories. Well, then shut the fuck up and listen then, dude, because I don't think you're doing that. I really don't. Your words are telling me that that is not the case, that you are remaining willfully ignorant.
And I choose not to live that way. So don't judge me. Don't make fun of me when you don't know my life, when you don't know my history. And it's fine. I don't need to share it. I have a backbone. I can take it. But there's some people out there that can't. And when you're actually turning it into being a bully and being mean and downright rude to people, and I've heard some of the conversations, and that's what y'all complain about. Y'all complain that y'all were bullied and y'all were being mean to and stuff, and that's sad. Nobody should be that. In all day and age, we are women and we are men, and we should be here to uplift each other, not take each other down. And I just hate the fact that you take what people say and you turn it into making fun of them. And
that's just not what it is.
And that upsets me, because you just don't know people's stories, and instead of coming out and being an adult about it and being just a plain adult about it and saying, hey, why were you saying this? I never once said anything mean about these people. I even said, I think we should pray for them, because I understand what it's like to let your emotions take over.
So she's going to try to say like, oh, see, I was being such a good person that I even said we should pray for them. Do you not see why that's condescending? Like, suggesting that any of us need Jesus. It's suggesting that any of us need some kind of divine intervention to be better. It's like, that's fucking condescending. Saying, let's pray for these people. Especially in the context in which you said it, you want to talk about in context, it was condescending. It still is condescending, especially when you know, like Tracey talks about it all the time and I talk about it all the time, that we are not religious people. So to be like, you need to pray for them, that's condescending. And I'll tell you right now, I am agnostic, but like at this point, bordering on the edge of atheism. And what makes it really push me closer to that edge is when I hear Christians and people who are so good talk this way because they don't listen to themselves, and they don't. If I'm sitting here saying you were being condescending, they're like, I don't get it. I don't understand why they say that. It's just like the love of Jesus. It's like, okay, because you're not listening. You're not taking yourself out of that brainwashed religious attitude and putting yourself in any other reality, really. Yeah, no, I was a devout Christian and when I say devout, I mean like devout. I went to Bible studies on my own will. I was speaking in tongues, honey. I was reading the Bible, doing my own Bible studies outside of my Bible study group. I would go sit out on the patio and just read my Bible and listen to a pound. I was one of these people. And then reality set in, I guess. I don't know, but I did that in my adult life on my own volition. You cannot sit here and say that I never knew Jesus, okay? I know exactly where your mind is. You're probably too closed off from anyone else's reality and mindset to be able to understand why the things you say are as condescending as I'm telling you they are, because I've been on both sides, honey. I get it, okay? And I get why you think that this is coming from a caring place and you just want people to get better. It's like, I don't believe in any of the shit. Like, I don't know, what are you trying to do? Save me? I hope they don't go to hell. It's like, I don't believe in hell, so I literally don't fucking care. It's condescending.
And turn you into somebody you truly down deep in your heart are not. And a lot of people do that. Your emotions can take the best of you. And there's a lot of high emotions right now. So when I said, hey, let's pray for these people, it's because sometimes we need it. Sometimes we need it. And that was made fun of.
I don't fucking need it.
So, I don't like the fact that I was recorded without.
Oh my God, somebody is doing yard work right now. It's the day after Christmas, damn it. Let us all just chill. So sorry if you hear like a fucking chainsaw or whatever the fuck. Construction, yard work, all that shit happens in my neighborhood every time I turn on the camera. Anyway, yeah, I don't like that was made fun of. It's not a matter of being made fun of. Like, I'm literally telling you right now, I'm not making fun of you. I'm telling you how it is. You're being condescending. You're being rude. You don't see it that way, but suggesting that somebody needs divine intervention, I'm gonna pray for these people. It's like, no, I don't need your prayers. I don't need your fucking Jesus shit. I don't need to go to church. I don't need to see the light. Like, it's condescending and it's rude. But no, I was just making fun of you for being a Christian. It's so stupid.
Without being asked permission, and nobody came to me specifically to ask me. They put it out there on YouTube and I was made fun of.
Okay, that was the other thing too. It's like, I don't need to ask for your permission. And also, do you know what fair use is? It was fair use. It's not like there's a copyright issue going on here. And what would have happened had I approached this woman if I had said, oh, hey, just so you know, you were speaking in a clubhouse and I'm going to go ask all 50 people who are in this room if this is okay. Is it okay if I put it on an anti-MLM channel? 100% of the people would have said, no, I'm not okay with that. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if they were okay with it or not, because again, I didn't need their permission. It's like, if you could sit here and be like, well, it would have been the right thing to do. Define right. Define what is correct to do. You know what I don't think is right? Literally the way you make your money and every way you go about doing that. I don't think that shit's right. Oh, I'm sorry. Did you ask me for my permission to go around and harass the people that I love and try to get them to buy your $5 jewelry and then join your team? You didn't ask my permission. And I don't agree with that. It's like, it's really one and the same, dude. I know my rights. Stay in your own fucking lane. Don't sit here and try to tell me that I needed to get your permission to post that. I'm not even the one who recorded it. I was just sharing it. They're just taking shit so personally. That's what they do because that's the only thing they can fall back on.
Believe me, I laughed at it. I really
I'm sure
did.
you did.
The more I thought about it, I was like, these people don't know my story. They don't know why I said what I said. So that really bothered me. That really bothered me.
Didn't she just get done saying that she's not bothered and she watched it and she actually laughed at it and now she's like, it bothered me. It's like, okay, well, what is it then? Oh, I'm sorry. I shouldn't call you out on things that you say that don't make any sense. I shouldn't call you out on any of that, right? Because that's just negative and mean and bullying. That's how I feel about that.
I just have one question. Do we have to worry about them coming on our lives, making trouble on our lives or anything like that? So, I mean, that's my concern. Do we have to worry about that? Or do we have to worry about, like on somebody's page, them coming on to their page and saying that, on our page? Do we have to worry about that?
Let me just say this, ma'am. If you are saying anything on a public forum, you should be worrying about this in general. You should always care about what you're putting out there for people to see on the internet. Whether you are a content creator, whether you are selling $5 jewelry on Facebook, no matter what you are, whatever you put publicly on Facebook or social media or a Clubhouse or Instagram or whatever the fuck, you should care about that. Do we have to worry about Yeah, you probably should. If you ever want to go and try to find another job, anything you post on a public forum like Facebook, your future employers can see that shit, So if you're coming off as a scammer for years and years and years, I don't know how future employers are gonna feel about that. I'm just saying. But even if it's not that, it's you should always care about that. You should always worry about that. And yeah, if you're sitting on here trying to get people to join your team and trying to get people to buy more jewelry so that you in turn make more money, you should be worried that someone's gonna call you out for your bad behavior, because that's exactly what's going on. That's exactly the point of this whole fucking thing.
That is my concern. Do we have to worry about them coming onto our page while we're live and making waves? And number two, do we have to worry about them coming on to our business page or VIP page or whatever, um, and and um and making waves?
And let me put it this way too. You're probably not one of these people who is just actively being a terrible person. You're probably not being a Patty. You're probably not being an E. coli. You're probably not being a Colleen. You're probably not being any of these people. So as long as you're not going live and saying dumb shit for someone to clip chimp you, then you're probably good. I think there's bigger fish to fry, and that's just petty. And obviously I'm the queen of petty. I love being petty. It's fucking fun. It's great. I love it. Don't fuck with me because I'm petty. But there's a time and a place. I never feel like I want to take somebody's livelihood away from them, even if it is paparazzi. My goal, what I would like, is for them to make the decision on their own to get out and, maybe start their own boutique. Look at what Tracey and Caroline are doing. They have their own suppliers, their wholesale suppliers, and they have their own boutique, and they're doing the same exact thing they were doing with paparazzi. They still get to do what they enjoy. They're just not selling for a shit-tacular company anymore, and they are running their own business. You can do that, okay? You are fully capable of doing that, and that's what I want you to do. I want you to get the fuck out of paparazzi and do your own thing. I don't want your livelihood to go away. I want you to make the decision to get out and continue making your livelihood in a different way, a better way, a more productive way. The big guys who are doing all the manipulating, and even though I always say that, they're victims too, it's what you do with your victimhood after that, And the people who are high up there, like Patty has been given every opportunity to figure out that what she's doing is just horrible. The things she says, the way she operates her business, and the way she conducts herself, she's been given every opportunity to face that for herself, go off and do something new. She doesn't do it. She knows what she's doing. The people who know what they're doing, the people who play into the manipulation and just keep making money off of the losses of others, can we focus more on them? Don't fuck up, don't say dumb shit, or else maybe you do have things to worry about if you're fucking up and saying dumb shit all the time.
I do know that they have been going to high up elites like Erica Cole onto their lives and asking about let it let go free and things like that, and that's something else I don't understand.
On that end, if you're a little guy and one person comes into your live and says, well, what about the let a nickel free? Even if they are a troll, you can't say that that's harassing. You can't say that's negative because, it's real, right? It's a real concern. The let a nickel free thing is totally a legitimate concern. I don't think it's a negative thing to make sure the people who are buying from you know that it is not let a nickel free. There's nothing negative about that. It's literally a matter of making sure the people are aware. So if you think that having to answer that question is harassment, do we have to worry about that? It's I don't know, put a disclaimer or something. If people keep coming in and trying to talk about, what do you have to say about, is there nickel in these products? It's if people are doing that constantly, just put a fucking disclaimer and then no one can get up your ass about it because you say you have it in the description every time. It's not that hard. Maybe everyone should be doing that.
Again, it goes back to the question that I had before. What is your purpose of doing that? If someone has chosen to stay in paparazzi, or someone is as big as Erica is, I get it. If she wants to continue to be a consultant and do whatever it is she's doing in her business, and we all saw really long message that she posted the other day. Um, I don't understand what's the purpose of going onto someone's live and doing that. I can't answer the question in the sense, are we all safe from them doing that? I don't know. I would hope so. And I mean, not that I want them to be attacking any paparazzi consultant, but from my understanding, they've only done that to those high up elites that like Erica Cole.
Because those are the people who are fucking shit up.
Hold on a second. I just wanted to comment on that really quick. Part of why we're having this is so that we can reduce the amount of negativity that is out there. So if people come on your business page and comment, block them, delete it. If they come on your lives, block them, delete the comments.
Information
That's
control.
the only thing you can do. And that I would consider those are trolls at that point, and they don't deserve to be there. So the thing I want to point out is I'm just so sick of the negativity and so sick of all of the backstabbing and mean girl attitude that has come about from this, when it has completely taken away from our mission and our goals. And you guys have taken the fun out of Clubhouse. You have taken our room away from us, and we're taking it back today.
Mom, she took my toy away. Like, that's what this sounds like. Like, you took all the fun away. What? I mean, if the fun of Clubhouse was spreading your dumb misinformation shit and trying to continuously recruit people to be on your team so that you make more money, then you deserve to have it taken away from you.
We're tired of it. We're not going to put up with it anymore.
Fine.
And I ask that you guys respect us as we respect you.
You don't respect us one fucking bit. You don't respect us enough to even listen for 5 seconds because you think that everything is just personal. And it's like, I don't even know you, dude. None of this is personal. You have cookies on your profile picture. Like, I literally know nothing about you. All I know are the words that are coming out of your mouth and that they're just wrong. But you want to make it all personal. No, I think at this point, anyone who is using a platform to actively push a narrative of buy more jewelry so I make more money, and you know, you can argue and say that that's not what you're doing, but that is what you're doing if you are actually as successful as you say you are, if you are paying down debts, if you are supporting your family. You have a team. You have to have a team if you are in the green. I think if you are using this platform to further yourself in this business, in this company, yep, it should be taken away from you. If that was what was fun to you, if making money off of the backs of other people is fun to you, then yeah, I'm glad Clubhouse is getting taken away from you. And how about this? Make your shit private then. There you go. That's how it works. If you don't want people to call you out on your bad behavior, then make it private. Otherwise, we're just gonna keep calling you out on your shit because what you are doing, no matter whether you want to admit it or not, is hurting people. It's harming people. It is.
Hi. Ladies, I would just like to say that I'm glad that you guys are taking a stance for the positivity. And I would also say from this day forward, I wouldn't give the negative Nancy's any more of the energy that they are desiring. Um, it's fine that you chose to leave, and it's fine that we chose to stay. But like you said, it's not okay for us. It's almost like the cliquish high school stuff that happened in high school. Well, I don't like Mimi, so I'm going to bring as many people against Mimi as I can.
That's literally not what it is. I don't know anything about you people. I can't say that I don't like any of you because I don't fucking know you. All I know is how you make your money. And I don't like that. I do not agree with that. That's not anything personal.
I didn't do that foolishness in high school, and I'm not belittling anybody or trying to put either side down, but it's just time out for foolishness, and we need to stop giving that attention to the negative folks. And the negative folks, if you are not happy or were not happy with paparazzi, I'm sorry. If you don't like MLMs, I'm sorry. But for those of us who have chosen to stay, we had nothing to do with what caused you your pain. We are not the cause of whatever it was that diminished your respect for paparazzi.
Here is a really big point I want to make. Again, it brings it back to the whole like taking things personally. If these people listened to a single thing that we ever said ever, they would know that we're not doing any of this because of like vengeance, because we're bitter about paparazzi or MLMs or whatever. It's because we're trying to educate and prevent people from joining these companies. Maybe if they want to listen to get out of these companies, but you know, like I've said before, these people are impossible to have conversations with 99% of the time because of this shit that we're seeing right here, the information control. They don't want to listen because it's too negative, blah, blah, blah. They literally think that we are this way because hurt people hurt people. We've been hurt, so we need to hurt other people. It's like, no, it's actually quite the opposite. We're trying to prevent people from being hurt. I've never been in paparazzi. I've been into MLMs, but honestly, like, I was not hurt by either of those MLMs. I was just annoyed, and I made a YouTube video being like, here's my experience. It's not what I was told it was going to be, and here I am now. And then it evolved into what it is today, and I'm so fucking grateful for it. My point is that, like, I can't honestly say that I was ever personally harmed by an MLM, but I have seen examples time and time again of people who have been hurt by MLMs, who are in debt, who have suffered losses of friends, families, relationships, among other things like health issues, just so much stuff. How could I consciously just stand by and like hear those things and be like, I'm not gonna say anything? It's like, I have to. I fucking have to, because it's hurting people. It's harming people. That's what it is. But these people are just like, we had nothing to do with it. So why are you attacking us? It's like, it's a straw man. It's irrelevant. You're guilty by association, dude. Sorry. And if you're gonna sit up there and talk your shit and be manipulative and all the things that it takes to be successful in a multi-level marketing company, if you're going to do all those things, you cannot sit there and talk all this stuff on a public platform and then not expect to be called out for your shitty behavior. It's not about us personally. It's not about you personally. It's not about our experiences. It's about everyone's collective experiences as a whole. This is what they don't get. We had nothing to do with it. Doesn't fucking matter. You're still part of the problem. You're still contributing to the problem. Yes, you're a victim, but you are not without guilt. Reflect on that. That's how I know these people don't listen, because that is something that they just fail to grasp, because they focus so much on it being a personal thing, and it just isn't.
But we still have respect for the company. We still are enjoying it.
Right. So, like, again, if you have respect for paparazzi after all the shit they've done, after everything that is exposed on Tea Time with receipts to back it up, if you still have any shred of respect for paparazzi, or MLMs in general, but paparazzi is pretty bad. It's like towards the top of my list of horrible fucking companies. If you can honestly say that you have any shred of respect for the people who run paparazzi or paparazzi as a whole, you're not listening. You're not fucking listening. You're sitting there wallowing in your own, I'm being bullied, they're calling me out, it's all about me. If you can't get past that, then you are not listening.
And I'm not going to let anyone take that away from me. If I elect to stay, doesn't mean I'm brainwashed.
It means you're willfully ignorant.
Left does not mean that you are. I can't take that on my shoulders. It's not our problem to bear. Just leave the folks who are choosing to stay, leave them alone, like everybody else has said. Misery loves company. Hurt people hurt people. We need to pray for them.
You're condescending.
Apparently there's something more than. I was bullied as a child, and I know how that feels. And so those folks who bullied, they had to be even more hurt than I was to do something like they were doing. And that's the same situation here.
So you had the moral high ground then, right? Is that what you're saying? I was bullied, so they must have been bullied worse. No, it's not a matter of like who's been hurt the worst. It's a matter of who the fuck is hurting people actively right now and who is fighting against that.
Why do we spend so much energy apart on something that you no longer want to be a part of? All of us here had nothing to do with any of what those individuals are going through.
Irrelevant.
Erica has nothing to do with whatever it is that they're going for. Like, let her be, let us be. Let's not give them if they come on your live, Tizzy, like Lindsay said, block them. Let them, I just wish people, and outside of the whole former paparazzi, current paparazzi, let people be. If I don't like to shop at Walmart, I'm not going to bash Walmart. I'm just not going to shop there anymore.
Ugh, the way this woman is talking, she's just kind of like, well, I would never act that way, so like, therefore other people shouldn't act that way. It's like, congratulations, I don't know. She's not grasping what the argument even is. It's like these people make stuff up in their brains, and they're just mad because they were hurt. It's like, no, you don't get it. Listen for a change, and then maybe you'll get it.
If you don't think that paparazzi was for you, then so be it. Don't bash it. Let us be. Why give us energy that you don't want to be a part of anymore? Let it be. Like, stop giving energy to things that you don't have any dog in the fight anymore. I'm not going to be belong this or anything, but Jesus Christ.
I guess I just don't get it. I mean, it goes back to the whole, like, I mean, you guys should know by now how I feel about the whole COVID thing and vaccines and all that stuff. It's like, it's the same argument that's like, well, I don't care whether I get sick from COVID or not, so I'm not going to get my vaccine. Why do you care whether or not I'm vaccinated? If you want to get the vaccine, then get the vaccine, but I don't want it, so blah. Because your actions affect other people. That's why we care. That's why we care about people being vaccinated around the world, because it protects your fellow man. It is your civic and your patriotic duty as an American to do that. But it's the same thing. It's like, okay, why do I care that you're harming other people? Do you hear yourself? How about have a shred of common decency? It's not like, I don't get why they can't grasp the idea of caring about other people when they argue like this, whether it's COVID or MLMs or whatever the fuck. What they're literally saying is, why do you care about other people? Why do I care about other people? Do you hear yourself? I mean, just like I said, it's not about you. It's not about you. It's never been about you. You're trying to make it about you, but it's not about you. So get off of your fucking pedestal. Come join the rest of us down here. Have a little bit of empathy. It's like they've never heard of this before. What's empathy? What is it like to care about other people? What's it like to give a shit about anyone, even if you don't know them? What's that like? It's beyond me. I don't get that shit. I don't get that shit. How can you not care about other people being harmed? Why don't you care? You want to say that you're a fucking Christian? How about love thy neighbor? It's literally one of Jesus's fucking commandments in the New Testament. He gave us 2 commandments, honey. One was trust in the Lord with all your heart. 2 was love thy neighbor. And you can't even do that. But then meanwhile, you're up here fucking preaching with your fucking Bible in your hand, doing your Bible studies on Facebook all the time. It's hypocrisy. Everything about all of this is just hypocrisy to the max.
Jesus. You may not be religious, that's okay. I am. And I just feel like love.
Jesus. I believe in Jesus, but I don't love my neighbor. And I don't care if they're suffering or not, especially if it's at the hands of myself and my own bad decisions. As long as I'm making money, the prosperity gospel will take care of me. That's what Kenneth Copeland taught me. God. It's so frustrating because they don't get it. They don't get it, yet they want to tote a book that literally tells them to do the opposite of what they're doing. Have some fucking empathy because Jesus told you you should. Hypocrites. Fucking hypocrites.
Love will win. Love is going to win. And all we have to do is remember to stay positive and to stop giving them energy because, oh my God. Stop attacking these ladies. These ladies have created rooms to help us and to give for us to have insight. Like, don't pull into it. Go in your former paparazzi room. Do you, boo, and let us do us.
No, because you doing you is harmful to other people.
Stop. It's just time out. And I'm done. I just thank you ladies for this. And I pray that the former paparazzi consultants will see that we're not bashing them. We're doing our business the way we see fit. And that's just the way it is.
And the way you see fit is just as long as you're making money, it doesn't matter if the people in your downline aren't. Empathy.
Have a wonderful day. Thank you for this. And happy holidays to everyone. And remember, love wins.
Good afternoon,
Okay.
everybody from the East Coast here in United States. I just want to say that I have believed in paparazzi since I joined in 2017, and I still believe in it. I have seen what this company has done, not just for me, but for other people, how it has changed lives. I think going into 2022, I think everybody needs to just set their intentions for their new year, stay focused, stay positive, stay out of all those negative other groups. Don't even pay them any attention, because the more people go in there, the more they're getting what they want. And, I am sorry for what happened to them. I hold no ill will towards anybody or whatever their situation is. I can understand that they're upset, they got canceled, whatever happened. But just like any other company, entity, organization, business, there are rules. There, even for franchises, there are rules that you have to follow or your franchise is going to be taken from you. There are things that probably could be different and better for everybody, but until that happens, I'm choosing to work and follow the mission statement and work my business, stay positive, set intentions for the new year, and just spread love and joy and light everywhere.
Only thing I'm going to say is that, I enjoy paparazzi. I mean, I'm sorry that, everything else happened, but, like everybody has been saying, we didn't have anything to do with it. I love my business. So the thing about it is, please don't, and I'm glad um, my page is private, so I'm kind of happy about that or whatever. So the thing about it is I enjoy my business, point blank period. I enjoy it. I really do.
And this is the type of person, when you hear them talk like this is the person where I want to grab them by their shoulders and be like, start your own business. Look at what Tracey and Caroline are doing. Look at what these other former paparazzi consultants are doing. They have their own business. They're making more money selling their own shit from wholesalers, and they're not scamming people. They're not building a team underneath them and making money off of their losses. So if you like what you do, ma'am, you can get out of paparazzi. Hey, newsflash, you can get out and still do exactly what you're doing now under your own business. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that shocking? That's what I want for these people. That's what most of us want for these people. But they just take it so personally, and they won't listen to anyone who's giving them a way out and being like, do something else. Here's something you literally can do. Is that too hard for you? You don't want to put in that effort? So instead you're just gonna sit in a spot where you're making money off of your downline? I don't get it. I mean, I get it because they're brainwashed. I get it because it's a cult. I get it because they're not even listening anyway. But I'm like, there are ways out. And lady, if you like paparazzi, if you like the work you do, you can still do that and not be in an MLM and not have to deal with the drama and not have to deal with the negativity. And I'll tell you what, the Recovering Paparazzi group on Facebook, they have all those resources for you. People have been so graciously sharing their wholesalers, their sources, where they're sourcing all their jewelries for their own personal boutiques. All that information is there for you. It is a support group, 100%. These people like to try to be like, fuck those people. They're all just a bunch of bullies. No. And I am someone who is in that group. I have seen the support, I've seen the love, and I've seen the resources that people are sharing. There are resources on how to get rid of all your paparazzi stock. There are people sharing what they've done to get rid of it. There are people sharing how they started their own new business doing the exact same thing. You do not have to stay in paparazzi. You don't. You can make better decisions for yourself and stop harming people doing what you're doing right now. It's pretty fucking easy. I mean, I've never done it. it, but from what I understand, it seems pretty simple. If you've got an audience of people watching you, if you've got a customer base, they'll probably still buy shit from you from your own boutique. It's not that hard. From what I understand, it's pretty fucking simple to make the change, and it's better for everybody, except for the people who are high up in paparazzi. They don't want you to do that because then they'll lose your PV. It won't be in their organizational volume anymore, and they don't want you to do that because they won't make money off of you anymore. That's what it all comes down to. So, lady, if you're hearing this, I hope that you take what I'm saying into consideration, and not just her personally. I hope that if there's anyone who is a former paparazzi consultant watching this video right now, I fucking hope that you can take what I just said and maybe just consider it. Just think about it. You are not stuck. You can leave, and you can do better.
So the thing about it is, for the ones that do enjoy it, for the ones that still love the company, just, allow us to continue. Don't try to stop us or whatever because you are hurting. We're sorry that happened.
I'm not hurting.
And so the thing about it is, like I said, I enjoy my business, and I'm going to continue until God. He's the only one that's going to make me stop. So the thing about it is, until God tell me to stop, I'm going to stop.
The thing is that God fucking hates MLMs. I'm telling you right now. There's nothing in the Bible. I mean, anyone who preaches the prosperity gospel will argue this, but the prosperity gospel is just a bunch of fucking bullshit because generally the Bible has a lot to say against the behaviors that take place in MLMs. And that's why I turn around and I go, well, then I guess either God isn't there and he's not fucking listening to you, or he's not a very just God. He's not a very moral, upstanding God if he's okay with you continuing down this path. There are a lot of reasons that have pushed me away from religion in the past few years, but this is one of them for sure. You're doing something wrong actively, and you're trying to tell me that your God is the only way you'll get out of it. No, and then you read the Bible where that God is coming from, and there's so much shit in there that's like, he wouldn't like that. He wouldn't like what you're doing. Jesus flipped tables over shit like this. Jesus got mad about shit like this. That's why it makes no sense to me. I think that was like the end of this clip, and dude, I'm telling you right now, I have been recording for 2 hours and 15 minutes, and I have a lot more to share with you guys, but I think what I'm going to do is make a part 2 to this video, and I really didn't want this to go as long as it did, but I guess I had a lot to say, more than I thought I was gonna say. So to, I guess, get you all stoked for the next video, after this came out, there was some crazy shit going on. A former elite who was like on Jerry's level, if you guys know Geraldine, Feisty Sousa, she quit paparazzi and made an insane, and when I say insane, I mean absolutely bonkers resignation video, and I want to share the whole thing with you after listening to this to be like, why do you care? Why do you care? Okay, there's like threats, all right? There's like actual threats going on, and I want to share that all with you guys, but I'm gonna put that in a separate video because this has just gone on for too long. So I guess I will just go ahead and thank my patrons and my members now. Guys, the list of people I'm about to read off are my financial supporters. They get access to our private Discord server. They also get videos early whenever I'm able to get them to you guys. Usually the videos I have that aren't sponsored, I can just throw them out to you guys a day early. We have a postcard club. We have a lot of other fun stuff. If any of that sounds good to you, you can go to patreon.com/Savannah Marie, or you can click the join button beneath this video to join my YouTube memberships. It's all the same perks, same all that stuff. Whatever you feel like joining on is fine with me. So with that being said, the biggest thank you in the whole wide world goes to Cecilia Dudek, Elizabeth Wyatt, Nitty Dragon, Leanne, Meredith Nakata, Molly Wasilewski, Raya Mew, Sheila Tapia, Tiff C, Turd Ferguson, Critter, Laura Lynn Martin, hashtag Get the W, Weatherington Law, Alice W, Amanda Shannon, Amy Huffman, April Lindblom, Boris Geller, Casey Scraper, Katrina Rosemarick, Claire T, Danae Twitchell, Daniel Urena, E. Higgins, Eric Louder Craddock, Jerry Duncan, Hannibal Crossing, Heidi Ha, Julia Wheeler, Kim Cartwright, Lizzie McQueen, Maddie Darley, Rachel McHenry, Samantha Jackson, Stephanie Hell, Tuesday the 13th, Jessica Cecil, Caroline H, Emion, Kazanis, J. Marie, Auntie Lou, Colin F, Jess Kronfeld, Krista Scantlin, Sarah Fisher, Liz Plantasy, and Valen Lowry, and to the rest of my fabulous financial supporters, thank you so much for being here and being you. Thank you for making it to the end of this video. Thank you Verb Energy for sponsoring this video. Thank you for everyone who checks out the sponsors on this channel. Thanks for leaving your like and your comment and doing everything everything that you do. Keep making waves, babes. I'll smell you all later with a part 2 to this absolute dumpster fire. Mommy Tsunami out.